Hello, I'm Michael Brook, and in this short video I'm going to share with you a great influence strategy. That strategy is what's known as the takeaway. And it's how you can influence people by taking your offering, product or service away. Now, I'm not talking about your Friday night indulgence from the local Chinese here. This is a little known technique that can drastically change the mind of some of the most resistant customers and prospects. So what's the big idea behind the takeaway? One of the reasons average influencers, people that need to persuade others as part of their work, are not more successful is they tend to push way too hard. No one likes to be forced into something, and you end up looking a little too desperate. It's not a good look. Taking your offering, product or service away techniques are effective because they get the customer to influence themselves. The takeaway is best used to suggest to the person you need to influence they cannot have something, the thing that you want them to do or buy, when they seem to have no or little interest in it. You know the people who appear to be fairly disinterested in what you've got to say about your offering. In this situation, you've almost nothing to lose and a lot to gain by using this technique. The takeaway works especially well with highly resistant prospects who have a strong interest in resisting your suggestions. And this is a technique that hypnotists use with their most resistant patients. So let me illustrate the takeaway with an example from clinical hypnosis. So this is the type of hypnotic conversation a hypnotist might have with someone who claims, "No one can hypnotize me." Hypnotherapists are commonly faced with this problem. Just as you may have people who claim you can't persuade them to your way of thinking with your suggestions. So imagine now, if you will, the therapist has the patient sitting in that special chair and they start speaking in that soft tone of voice that they use. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe you can't be hypnotized, and maybe you'll never know the comfort and pleasure hypnosis brings. Maybe you'll always deny yourself the benefit of hypnotic relaxation. I don't know. It's up to you. Maybe you are too frightened to allow yourself to experience hypnosis, and maybe you're not interested in the improved health hypnosis can bring to you as you begin to relax just a little more now. And you can relax just a little at a time, as you do every night as you begin to go to sleep. Okay, I know that you're not going to be talking like this with your customers or colleagues, but I'm certain you'll get the takeaway embedded into your conversation. The highly resistant patient wants to push against the hypnotist. When the hypnotherapist tells him he cannot go into a trance, the only way the patient can resist is to do what he's intent on resisting, relaxing and drifting off into a hypnotic trance. To ensure the takeaway is even more effective, you should emphasize the many benefits of the product or service which the customer will not enjoy unless they go with your suggestion or they make the purchase in the case of a sale. In the hypnosis example, you'll note that many of the healthy and relaxing benefits of hypnosis were emphasized. So let's explore an example of a computer sales professional using the takeaway. The salesperson might say, "I really can't recommend this microcomputer because I suspect it's a more powerful computer than you need. It has more power, it's faster processing times and far more memory than you'll need. Also, it's built to withstand much more use than you'll be giving it. It's a fully professional computer and is really designed for a bigger business. To which the client might respond, well, I'm not so sure. I can afford the microcomputer and I've got some serious growth plans for my business. It will future-proof my business and I think my business needs the features and benefits of this powerful computer. The salesperson comes across here very honestly. It seems he's not pushing the product. He knows the client, knows what the client needs, and the salesperson knows what will make the client happy. And since the salesperson was not a product pusher, there was nothing for the client to resist. The salesperson is not pushing against the client, so the client did not need to push back. In preventing the salesperson from taking away the product, the customer bought the computer. He persuaded himself of his needs for his product. I personally remember a time when I was in the market for a new car. I did my research and I was absolutely certain which car I wanted to buy. All I now needed to do was test drive the actual model I wanted. When I went to the showroom, I was approached by the salesman to ask if I needed any help, and I told him I just need to test drive this particular car and model. He immediately said, "Oh, I'm sure that'll be okay, but before we take the car out, I think it's best we sit down and have a discussion about the car. This car is quite specialist and it's certainly not for everyone, and I need to make sure this is the kind of car that's suitable for you." When we went into his office to discuss the particular merits of the car, I certainly had the feeling he's going to talk me out of buying it, and perhaps he would not even let me have a test drive. At that point, I was even more determined to test drive and buy that car. Now going back to our computer sales example. What if the prospect had agreed with the salesperson? What if the prospect had said, "I agree with you, this is too powerful a computer for my business"? In this situation, the sales professional still wins. He could then start using probing questions to elicit his criteria and find out exactly what kind of computer the client thought he needed. With the trust he's just built, he would have had a very good chance of selling a computer of the right specification to the client. So whatever happens after you use the takeaway, you're still very likely to make the sale or persuade them to your ideas. Thank you for watching. I'm Michael Brook and I look forward to speaking to you next time.